This is the Global Economic Commodities Scrap Metal and Recycling Report by our Bentley roll-off trailer and lugger truck, November 23, 2020. U.S. weekly crude steel production rose to 1.58 million tons on continued slow U.S. economic growth. The increased U.S. COVID death rate could slow this trend. Crude oil production rose to $42.17 a barrel, a multi-month high on strong Chinese demand, but weak U.S. and European demand. Long-term prospects remain ugly for oil as renewables grow. The U.S. weekly oil rig count fell to 231, down 85.6% from the 2014 high due to low prices and low demand. U.S. weekly crude oil production rose to 10.9 million barrels per day off the recent low, but demand and price remain depressed. Scrap steel number one, HMS export buying price Philly rose to $235 a gross ton, a multi-month high as global demand is up, and there is a weak dollar which makes buying U.S. products cheaper for other countries. Scrap steel number one, HMS price was steady at $249.33 a gross ton as upward price pressure remains on the same global demand being up, helped by the weak U.S. dollar. Hot-rolled coil steel rose to $36.90 per hundredweight, near a multi-year high as demand slowly increases and on higher scrap prices. Copper price rose to $3.29 a pound, a 6.5-year high, which is great positive economic news driven by strong Chinese demand and positive vaccine news helped by a weak dollar. Aluminum price rose to 89.6 cents, a multi-year high on the same issues as copper, especially the weak dollar. Canada's October inflation rate rose to 0.7% annualized, well below 2.2% pre-COVID. Food was up 2.3% and clothing fell 4%. China's October industrial production rose 6.9% versus last year. Manufacturing was up 7.5%, utilities were up 4%, with machinery up 17.6%, and ferrous metals up 11.2%. The U.S.'s October industrial production fell 5.3% versus last year, a major difference from China that we just discussed. Manufacturing was down 3.9%, mining was down 14.4%, and utilities down 3%. Here's the same U.S. industrial production now looking over the past 10 years. October was the 14th straight month of falling activity. Note the tax cut peak in mid-2018. The U.S. dollar index versus other countries' currencies fell to 92.4, near a multi-year low on increased U.S. COVID deaths and record hospitalizations, which is causing short disruptions, but the vaccine is coming. U.S. initial unemployment claims rose to 742,000 and 320,000 self-employed, so 1.06 million total. The trend is down, but under 300,000 is key for good economic growth. The U.S. Home Builders Market Sentiment Index for November rose to 90, an all-time high, which is a great positive future economic indicator, great for jobs and great for retail and manufacturing. Wall Street's Dow Jones Industrial Average fell 217 points to 29,263, but it is still near the record high on great positive vaccine news, but the U.S. COVID deaths are accelerating. The cavalry, the vaccine, is on its way, but very sadly, there will be an estimated 215,000 more U.S. deaths by March 1st. As always, feel free to call or email me with any questions, and we hope all stay safe in these very difficult next 6 months.